What's going on, YouTube? Bacon here bringing another video. This one gonna be the MWPA Finals match for Season 6 of the Earth Division. This week we're taking on Blue, coach of the Temple Noctowls. How fitting is it that we end up with the Villanova vs. Temple Philly special here on tap for the finals matchup. Blue basically bashed his way through this league. I know he does have one loss on the record there. We're both coming into this game 7-1, of course 8-1 if you include the semifinals matches that we both played. But Blue just kind of smashed his way through this league because his team is absolutely monstrous and he's a very good player. So that combination of things makes this matchup extremely, extremely deadly. Not that I think the matchup is super terrible for me on paper. I honestly think my semifinals matchup, in terms of just Mons, was worse than this is. In general, I think this is probably like 45-55 his favor, or even on matchup here, just because neither of us have very good switch-ins to the other's team. So it's basically going to make it really important to have, one, a good lead option in this match. Guessing the lead right is going to be super, super important to keep your opponent on the back foot in this match. And then the other thing here is just kind of, it's going to be a Sackmon type game. Like, I have no switch-ins for Mega Medicham. He really doesn't have good switch-ins for Tapu Bulu. Well, particularly the Tapu Bulu set that I brought. Doesn't have great switch-ins for like Staraptor or Conkeldurr. He basically has to bring a Mega Medicham on, and he can't do that super frequently because it's a pretty frail Pokemon. He's got to be worried about Guts Facade, things like that. So in general, pretty volatile matchup here. Two very offensively based teams. His is more HO, mine's more bulky offense in general. But he does have some decent natural bulk on his team. Things like Zygarde can take hits. Tyranitar can take hits as long as they're not fighting type ones. But in general, very, very volatile matchup. Going to be a good one here for sure. And coming into this match, I definitely was not expecting a very long game. Obviously, I know the outcome already, but really was not expecting this game to go more than 20 turns. And once we get into the team builders here, you'll see why. So we'll start off with Blue's team. He's got Zygarde 50, Kartana, Tapu Fini, Excadrill, Tyranitar, Volcarona, Gothitelle, Hydreigon, Araquanid, Xurkitree, and Mega Medicham. So I think I mentioned in my last video that he's got 3 Mons that aren't OU, or something like that, and 2 of them are Ubers, basically. I might not have said the exact right thing the last time around, but basically he's got Xurkitree is UUBL, so for all intents and purposes, OU. Araquanid's, I think, RU, and Hydreigon is UU. But other than that, everything else is OU and above. Above being the Gothitelle and the Zygarde are currently in Ubers, of course, because it is Shadow Tag Gothitelle. So, majorly threatening team. Why do we let this man draft this? This is terrifying. Like, even though I said at the beginning of this that my matchup I don't think was as bad as it was during the semifinals, I'm more terrified of this team just because of the massive amount of options he has for win cons in this match. Like, my team is super bodied by Tapu Lucha, which is the scary thing from the last from my semifinals matchup. But he has a number of very viable win conditions in this game that I have to be concerned about. I did 3 mocks, or mocked with 3 people for this match, and they all brought different stuff. Like, some people brought sand, some people didn't bring sand, some people brought Xurkitree, some people didn't bring Xurkitree. Literally the only Pokemon I didn't see in my prep matches was Volcarona, which is crazy because Volcarona is the kill leader for this season in MWPA Earth by a lot. I think it had something like, I think it went like 19-2 this season. But I do agree that Volcarona doesn't have a very good matchup versus me. He'd need HP Ground for Heatran, he'd need Psychic for Tentacruel, presumably Quiver Dance to set up, and then he'd have to choose between Bug and Fire. Muck can probably take a hit if I'm running like Assault Vest. Aerodactyl is going to be a problem. I would be able to take a hit from him. So in general, I don't think Volcarona made a whole lot of sense versus me. I could literally see everything on his team coming, including the Volcarona, even though it doesn't make a ton of sense. Like, I still need to be prepared to deal with it, because if you don't bring rock coverage and stuff for Volcarona, you're just asking to get swept. So, yeah, lots of viable win conditions on his end. Zygarde's obviously a viable win condition any game it's in. Mega Medicham just breaking through my team is really, really terrifying. I have no good switch-ins on my team to Mega Medicham. Even if I brought, like, Latios, he is probably going to be carrying Ice Punch to hit that in my Tapu Bulu. So, realistically, I don't have good switch-ins to Medicham this match. Gothitelle is obviously a threat because it can trap specifically my Conkeldurr, which is very important for dealing with his Sand Core of T-Tard plus Drill. So, yeah, really, really threatening team on his end. Very offensive, which means he doesn't have great switch-ins to my Pokemon at the very least. But I don't have good switch-ins to his either. So, definitely going to be a pretty volatile kind of matchup. Speaking of which, let's get into my team builder here. first Pokemon I put out on the team was Conkeldurr. I felt like it was just a must bring with his potential for bringing the Sand Core being pretty high, I felt, or at least bringing Excadrill itself. I felt like Conkeldurr was a must. I also kind of foresaw the Kartana coming just because I do have the grassy terrain on my Boo, which you could take advantage of. And Kartana in general is just a huge threat to my team. If he's like a timid speed boosting set, or if he's even just Choice Scarf Kartana, that's a huge threat to my team. Very difficult to deal with. So I'm expecting like either SDZ fighting to break through my Heatran with a timid nature, or just straight Choice Scarf Kartana so that he can outspeed my Aerodactyl from the get-go. Some of my other stuff like my Raikou as well. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm expecting with the Kartana. But anyways, Conkeldurr here, very important for dealing with the Kartana, Excadrill, and T-Tar. Running Drain Punch, Mach Punch, Ice Punch, and Stone Edge, Iron Fist instead of Guts. I didn't feel like he had a whole lot on his team that was going to be statusing me, especially given that if he brought Tapu Fini, he'd have the potential for terrain to be active anyways, which is part of the reason I didn't think it made a whole lot of sense to run like a Guts Flame Orb set either. Because there's potential, like, Tapu Fini is a very good switch into my Conkeldurr, especially because I'm not carrying Poison Jab on this. Tapu Fini is a very good switch into Conkeldurr. He could deny me my Flame Orb over the course of the match, even though I do have Bulu to reset terrain. It's just not something I really wanted to play around with. And I felt like the immediate damage from Iron Fist was fine anyways. I'm not taking the extra chip from Burn, which I'll definitely need as much HP as I can hold on to take hits from the Excadrill, take hits from T-Tar, take hits from Kartana. Running max HP, max attack, Adamant, only 8 in speed, which actually did come in a little clutch for Blue because the Arachnid actually ended up being faster than me. He did creep my Conkeldurr running 8 speed EVs. I should have run like 16. That's something I missed in the team builder. It's not normally something I miss in the team builder. It's the potential for a speed creep like that. But unfortunately, he did get me on that one. We'll see how that plays out in the match if at all. But yeah, he did get me on the speed creep there. Anyways, the set's kind of self-explanatory from Conkeldurr. Dual stab on the fighting punches with Drain Punch and Mach Punch. Essential in this matchup. Ice Punch, essential. Gotta deny the Zygarde free setup if I can. If he's not running any HP, Ice Punch is a guaranteed OHKO from full because I am Iron Fist. Even if he's running a little bit of HP, I think it's still a guaranteed OHKO. But if he's depends how much he's running, honestly. Like, he could creep down enough to, like, my Adamant Mamoswine, for example, and be running plenty of HP to live in Ice Punch, but even then, he shouldn't live Ice Punch into Mach Punch, so he shouldn't be able to set up and beat me at the same time. Even a +3 extreme speed, if he was, like, weakness policy and happened to have enough HP to live in Ice Punch, even a +3 extreme speed shouldn't knock out my Conkeldurr from a reasonable range. I don't know the exact calc off the top of my head, but I should at least be able to take that if I'm reasonably healthy, so... and last up here, the kind of thing on the Conkeldurr is I'm running Shed Shell. I didn't feel like another item was super important on Conkeldurr this week, and Shed Shell was just too critical if he happened to bring Gothitelle. I can't allow that thing to get in, start setting up Calm Minds in my face. I don't have anything to touch it, really. My only hope would be freezing it at that point. But even still, he could just trap me and kill me, which would be really bad for dealing with his T-Tar plus Drill if he brought that. I did see Sand plus... I did see the Sand Core plus Gothitelle in one of my mocks. I already had Shed Shell on my Conkeldurr at that point, but I felt like it was just too good to not bring, or too important to not bring, even if I didn't end up seeing the Gothitelle, because Conkeldurr was just way too vital in this match. Next up here is Yikes the Staraptor, running Choice Scarf Reckless Staraptor for I think the first and only time this season. I did run Choice Scarf Staraptor once, but it was an Intimidate, Final Gambit, janky type of set. So this one is just kind of standard. Choice Scarf, Reckless, U-Turn, Brave Bird, Double Edge, and Close Combat. Running Max Attack, Max Speed, Jolly Nature. What this allows me to do is potentially speed tie with Volcarona, should it come to that, like a +1 Volcarona. And it also guarantees, of course, that I outspeed the Mega Medicham. If somehow my Choice Scarf gets knocked off, which I don't anticipate happening in this match, I'd still at least speed tie with that thing, potentially. I don't know if he'd run max speed Medicham fearing the Staraptor or not, but I feel like it was worth it to just run the max speed, if only to tie with the Volcarona. It's not like I would have gotten a whole lot of extra beef out of it if I ran a little bit less speed and a little bit of HP. I can't remember what the thing I would need to creep down to was, but it's not like I would have gotten a ton of HP out of it, so I felt like it was not worth risking anything with this Raptor here. This is a decent check to +1 Zygarde if I've gotten a good chunk of damage off on him. Brave Bird should do something like 40 to 50%, I think, to no bulk Zygarde, so I have a lot of things on my team that should be able to put the Zygarde into that range. And then, of course, also, it's a great offensive check to the Mega Medicham, Arachnid. I can close combat the T-Tar and Drill if I need to. I actually do outspeed Drill under webs with this Staraptor if I do have webs up. You see our Ribombee on the team coming up in a second. So yeah, Staraptor really important in this matchup. Potential for a late game Brave Bird clean for sure. And I should also note that this will outspeed a +1 variant of Circuitry, whether he's running like Choice Scarf or Z Hypnosis or whatever. I will outspeed that thing, be able to blow that thing up with a double edge. He'd have to be running a good bit of HP to get the roll out of the range where it can KO him. I think the min is like 97% on no bulk Circuitry, and I don't know how much bulk he'd be running, because he'd want to guaranteed outspeed my Mamoswine, I would think. So I don't think he'd be running that much bulk in the first place, and even if I don't KO him with the double edge, I do have Mach Punch to pick him off with my Conkeldurr. Next up here is Tapu Ulu the Tapu Bulu, running Babiri Berry Tapu Bulu with Horn Leech, Wood Hammer, Rock Slide, and Hidden Power Fire. Running not a whole lot of speed on here. I can't remember exactly what I was creeping with the Tapu Bulu. What am I hitting on this thing? I don't really know. 233. That looks like maybe... I don't know. Couldn't tell you what I was creeping there, but I'm sure I had a reason. It was under webs, I would be able to outspeed Kartana. That's what it was. So under webs, I guaranteed to outspeed the Kartana and can kill that thing with an HP Fire unless he's running Assault Vest or Akaberry, which I don't really anticipate this match. I think he'd be running either Choice Scarf or like an SDZ move type of Kartana versus me. But the Babiri Berry HP Fire there is just to bait the Kartana specifically. It also doubles as coverage for the Excadrill. I can blow that thing up with a Wood Hammer as he goes for Iron Head. I think I should live even an Adamant Z Iron Head from Excadrill, I think. Through the Babiri Berry, and Wood Hammer should knock it out from full. I could also potentially Horn Leech on that thing if I need to save my Tapu Bulu for later to deal with like the T-Tar or something. But in general, I just felt like Tapu Bulu is too good to not bring. If I can keep webs up, it's actually going to be a huge threat to his team, because the only thing that would outspeed me under webs is his Hydreigon, if he happened to bring that, because it does have Levitate, obviously. But otherwise, Tapu Bulu is a huge threat in this match, huge threat to the Tapu Fini. It's a threat to the Xurkitree as well, unless he's running like HP Poison. Even HP Ice isn't doing a ton to this Tapu Bulu, and I could just Horn Leech up and heal off damage. So Tapu Bulu really, really good in this match, and a really decent bait, I think, for the Kartana. With like Scarf Kartana is a huge threat versus me. Even SD Kartana, if he's running like Timid, is a huge threat versus me, because then he could outspeed my Aerodactyl after killing something. Just don't want to be dealing with that thing. So looking to lure one of the two of them with this Babiri Berry. I also anticipate his Zygarde to be running like... I saw Z Iron Tail twice in prep, just because I have a Tapu Bulu and I have a Ripon-B. It would hit Aerodactyl super effectively. Like, he's definitely carrying Iron Tail at the very least, unless he's trying to get really cheeky and run like Sludge Wave. But I think he'll probably be carrying Iron Tail this match, and I have to be prepared for that with my Tapu Bulu. Wood Hammer should put Zygarde in range of the rest of my team, even if he's like a coil set. He shouldn't be able to knock me out at +1 if he's a coil set, especially if my Babiri Berry is still intact. So I could like Wood Hammer into Horn Leech, or even just Wood Hammer twice to knock out the Zygarde with Tapu Bulu. I don't really want to trade for Zygarde, because Bulu's pretty important for checking the Arachnid, the Tyranitar, and if I'm at full, I can live an Ice Punch from the Mega Medicham. So all very relevant things for my Tapu Bulu to be doing. Basically, it's to help me get ahead in the trade war here. I kill something where he doesn't, is the important thing from Tapu Bulu in this match. Next up here, we've got Grace the Ribombi, running Focus Sash Ribombi, Moonblast, Bug Buzz, U-Turn, and Sticky Webs. If he doesn't bring the Tyranitar, the Focus Sash is really nice. If he does bring it, it's not as nice, because the Sand can obviously break it, Stealth Rocks can break it. But otherwise, I felt like Focus Sash was just too important in this match. I can potentially die from a Bullet Punch, I think, from a Mega Medicham, so... which is just crazy. So Focus Sash being intact means I can always offensively check that thing with Moonblast, or potentially get up my Sticky Webs if I want to go that route. U-Turn is there for initiative. If he happens to go into his T-Tar thinking he can just break my Sash with his Sand. Moonblast is only really doing about 50% to that thing anyway, so U-Turning out, keeping my Sash intact could be important in the late game for sure. And it also allows me to take advantage of a potential Rapid Spin Excadrill switch in. Like I did see Spin Drill with no Sand in one of my mock battles as well, just to help deal with the Sticky Webs. So U-Turn can allow me to take advantage of that, get out into something like my Conkeldurr and start pressuring him that way. So I didn't think Quiver Dance Ribombi made a whole lot of sense this game, especially because I really wanted the Sticky Webs, and then I'd be limited in coverage otherwise. So Dual Stab plus U-Turn I think was enough to round out the Ribombi in this instance. Next up here is Vulcan the Heatran. I'll be honest with you guys, Heatran is kind of dedicated Sackmon in this game. Not that it can't be good in this game. Like, if I get up Sticky Webs, Heatran will outspeed his whole team, bar the Hydreigon, which I should be able to take a hit from anyways. And I'm running Modest Steelium Z Heatran, so Z Flash Cannon should blow up something on his team, or at least potentially blow up something on his team if I trap the right thing with it. Magma Storm is really nice on this set. I'm running actually Magma Storm, Flash Cannon, Stone Edge, and Fire Blast, so Magma Storm is really nice on this set to bait in something like a Tapu Fini switch in, trap it with Magma Storm, and then kill it with Z Flash Cannon. That would be a huge boon for me in the long run, keeping up my Sticky Webs if I have my Ribombee alive still, because I do anticipate Tapu Fini to be defog if he does bring it. Stone Edge is there specifically to KO the Volcarona. Also does okay damage to the Araquanid, which otherwise resists my dual stab because of its ability. But I don't really want to be staying in on that thing anyways. And I've got Tapu Bulu as a pretty good water type switch in. Conkeldurr could potentially take a hit if I need it to. So Heatran can be good here, but like I said, it's kind of the least useful member on the team, so it's my dedicated sack to the Mega Medicham. I don't have good switch-ins for Mega Medicham, so if I can limit that thing to 1 or 2 KOs this match, I think that's basically what I'm going to have to do. I think if I can limit it to 1 or 2 KOs, I can still pick up the win here. If it gets 3 or more, I think I lose. Just kind of looking at how many Mons that would mean I'd be losing this match. I think I'd probably lose if it gets 3 or more. So dedicated sack number 1 in Heatran here. He does have to fear at least that I might be Choice Scarf. Like if I get this in, predicting him to go for an Ice Punch against like my Tapu Bulu, he does potentially have to fear that I'm Choice Scarf Heatran, because Fire Blast, Modest Fire Blast is actually a roll to KO, no bulk invested Medicham, so he does have to be worried about that, but not necessarily as much as I'd like him to be. So Heatran, dedicated sack this game, but if I get up Sticky Webs, can still be good here. Last up here, we got Shuriken the Mega Aerodactyl, running Ice Fang, Fire Fang, Wing Attack, and Stone Edge. Max attack, adamant nature, and quite a bit into HP. I really only needed to speed creep the Kartana here. I could have gotten cute and like sped crap sand drill under webs, which maybe I should have. Or like if I really wanted to, I could have sped crap +1 Xurkitree, because max speed Aerodactyl or like 437 speed Aerodactyl does outspeed +1 Xurkitree, but I really wanted the bulk in this match, especially because I figured his Medicham would be carrying Bullet Punch, and I wanted to guarantee that I lived a Bullet Punch after Stealth Rock. So with the amount of bulk I have into this Aerodactyl, I think Bullet Punch is doing something like 50% to me, which means I can live a Stealth Rock switch in plus a Bullet Punch. So Mega Aerodactyl is really important in this game for offensively checking the Mega Medicham, offensively checking the Araquanid. Also puts in good damage on the rest of his team with Stone Edge. Like Stone Edge is a 2-hit KO on no defense investment Tapu Fini with max HP, so it should 2-hit KO that thing if I hit both. Also, potentially 2-hit KOing his T-Tar depending on his investment. I'd expect him to have a little bit more bulk on that thing, but I really don't want to be dealing with T-Tar with this thing anyways. Yeah, just good coverage for his team. Ice Fang hits the Zygarde. If he's running no bulk, that thing drops because I am adamant Ice Fang. Fire Fang should drop the Kartana. You see where this is going. Basically, really good offensive check in Mega Aerodactyl here, and it also prevents the Volcarona from doing a whole lot versus me this game. I can live a Z +1 Z Fire Blast after Stealth Rocks against the Volcarona, should it come to that. I don't think I live a Psychium Z if he happened to run that to hit my Tentacruel, but like I mentioned, I don't really expect to see the Volcarona anyways, but just in case, I do have the Aerodactyl to help deal with it. So that's the squad for this match. As I mentioned, expecting it to be a very offensive kind of Sackmon type game. Looking at what he brought, I was definitely right. He's got Mega Medicham, Kartana, Excadrill, Tyranitar, Zygarde 50, and Araquanid. So he doesn't have good switch-ins, I don't have good switch-ins. My lead matchup is very, very important here, just looking right off the bat. If he leads with Mega Medicham and I lead with the wrong thing, i.e. Heatran or Conkeldurr, I have to lose a Mon. That's how bad it is for me if he leads Mega Medicham. So, yeah, I actually didn't have that calc up. I should have had that calc up. But, yeah, Mega Medicham blows away everything on my team, bar, like, my Tapu Bulu, which can take a hit from full, and then my things that outspeed it and threaten it out. So, yeah, big threat. I have to counter lead that Mega Medicham, no matter how much I want to lead Conkeldurr this match, because it does really well against those 4 in the middle, and even decently versus Araquanid. No matter how much I want to lead Conkeldurr, I can't risk him just straight up leading Mega Medicham and claiming a KO. So what I'm going to do here is lead with my Tapu Bulu. I think he gave me the best lead matchup in general. Like, his team's still pretty weak to Tapu Bulu because I do have the Babiri Berry. If he happens to lead with Kartana, I can trap that thing turn 1. I can trap the Excadrill turn 1 with my Babiri Berry. So Bulu still had a very good lead matchup here, and it didn't leave me weak to the Mega Medicham, was basically the idea. So I lead with Bulu. He unfortunately leads with the Zygarde, which is probably worst case scenario for Bulu because Mega Medicham's not knocking me out, and I will trade Bulu for Mega Medicham. Kartana's not knocking me out because I have the Berry. You know, you get the idea. Like, Bulu would have been a great matchup against pretty much everything but Zygarde, actually. But since the Zygarde's in, I can't just let him get free setup, and unfortunately, he's just going to go straight for the Iron Tail and pop my Berry as I go for a Wood Hammer. So, not really how I wanted to use the Tapu Bulu to start out this match, but at least now I've gotten chip damage enough off on the Zygarde to put it in range of my Choice Scarf Staraptor, and I also still have my Focus Sash intact on Ribombee in the back. We do see leftovers on the Zygarde, so he's not carrying Z on this. Makes me think it could definitely be a Z variant of Kartana or Excadrill in the back there. Anyways, I don't want to lose my Tapu Bulu here right off the bat, so I'm going to actually go out into my Conkeldurr here. Grassy Terrain's up. I should be able to take hits relatively well from this Zygarde. Unfortunately, he does get the defense drop on me with the Iron Tail, which means I'm going to take a lot more damage on my Conkeldurr than I wanted to at this point. But I don't want to risk like going Drain Punch into Mach Punch because he could easily just E-Speed me as he sacks off the Zygarde and get the same amount of damage off anyways. I'm just going to go for Ice Punch instead and KO the Zygarde, making the safe play there. At least keeping my Conkeldurr around for later in the game to potentially Mach Punch the Tyranitar or the Excadrill, but it's a lot weaker at this point than I wanted, as is my Bulu, especially considering it's lacking its Berry at this point. But anyways, he's going to get out his Araquanid here. Like I mentioned, don't really want to stay in on the Araquanid with my Conkeldurr. I'm pretty sure he'd go for a Water-type move to start off, so going to switch out into my Bulu here as he just goes straight for the Liquidation. Looks like he's pretty offensively invested and unfortunately gets another defense drop on me. That doesn't matter if he has Poison Jab, but it is potentially going to force me to go for a Horn Leech this turn. So looking at this play here, we've both got a couple options. Like, I know I have HP Fire, he doesn't. But outside of that, I'm sitting here with Tapu Bulu. If I Horn Leech, I should get out of range of the another Liquidation despite the defense drop. So that, in his mind, is probably the play that I should go for, is go for Horn Leech, get enough health back to live another Liquidation, because I don't know that he's got Poison Jab. He does have Poison Jab, but I don't know that. And he also doesn't necessarily want to take damage off on his Araquanid when my Conkeldurr is still alive. So that makes this play a little bit more complicated from that end, because on my end, I want to keep my Tapu Bulu healthy, right? But at the same time, I can't let him get Kartana in for free here. If Kartana comes in right now on a Grass-type move, it's claiming a KO, guaranteed. Like, I can't stop it from getting a Beast Boost if it comes in on me. The only thing I would have to hope for is that he just SD in my face as I go for HP Fire, but he'd really have no reason to do that when he just claims him on with even Leaf Blade at this point into Sacred Sword, or Leaf Blade into Z Sacred Sword would claim him on guaranteed on me. So, very scary to have the Kartana come in. I think he'd predict me to go for a Grass-type move here for sure. And even still, like, this turn took a long time, real time, because I was thinking about this play really, really hard. Even if I'm thinking to predict a Kartana, on his end, what he's got to be thinking I'm predicting is to go for Superpower or Horn Leech here, not to go for HP Fire or Horn Leech. So I'm going to make the HP Fire play here, predicting the Kartana. This is just a hugely pivotal turn if I get this prediction wrong, but I really felt I couldn't let the Kartana in here, so I went for HP Fire, and thankfully he did swap in the Kartana. It turns out this was actually max HP weakness policy Kartana with a timid nature, which if I had Superpower there and had gone for it, would not have KO'd this Kartana, first of all. And second of all, I think it would have just straight lost me the game. Oh no, I still would have had Mach Punch to clean up with Conkeldurr, but it at least still would have gotten a Mon if he came in on a Superpower there. So I understand, like, it definitely made a ton of sense for him to go Kartana there. Like, there's no world in which you predict that I'm running HP Fire Tapu Bulu, or that I would click it when I'm in against an Araquanid in a pretty obvious Horn Leech scenario, but I think I really just could not allow the Kartana to come in there and claim a KO, because I do need to save my sacks for the Medicham in the back. So huge prediction there, getting the HP Fire off on the Kartana. Puts us in a pretty decent spot, but we're still not really winning this game. We're just kind of, we're about even right now, I'd say, because my Bulu's low, my Conkeldurr's low, and those things are both really important in this match. So he's going to get his Medicham out for free here. He can just click Ice Punch. There's not a whole lot I can do about it. I'm going to go into Heat Ram because, like I mentioned, it is dedicated Sackmon this time. I'm just going to go out into my Heat Ram here and basically hope that he thinks I'm Choice Scarf and switches out into like his Araquanid or something, but he's really got not a lot of reason to do that as he goes for Ice Punch here. He should be able to count that that's offensive damage to my Heat Ram, but even still, it doesn't mean he predicted me to be Choice Scarf, and he correctly predicts that I'm not Choice Scarf, goes for Drain Punch, and knocks me out. no big deal. I was just sacking off Heatran there anyways. Like I mentioned, it was the most useless member on the team, especially because there's no Gothitelle here. There's no Xurkitree, no Hydreigon, no Tapu Fini. Like, there wasn't really a whole lot for Heatran to be doing. So here I'm going to get in my Ribombee. I'm just going to go straight for the Moonblast in case he decides to go hard Excadrill to go and spin away my webs. And in case he decided that he wanted to get cheeky, go for like Bullet Punch as I webs and then go into T-Tar to kill me with sand. I felt like Moonblast was just my best play there. And taking this big chunk of damage off of Tyranitar means that it is in range of a potential Stone Edge from a Mega Aerodactyl. Here I'm just going to go right for the Sticky Webs. I don't think he'd go hard out into Drill here. I think he'd probably just decide to knock out my Ribombee, as he does go for the Z Aerial Ace on his Tyranitar. So very cool tech there to catch my potential Conkeldurr switch in. I didn't feel like it was worth risking Conkeldurr there. One, because I don't think I actually would have lived an offensive Tyranitar's stab move, just because I'm at such a low amount of HP. And two, because I need that Conkeldurr to check the Excadrill with a potential Mach Punch. So here, thankfully, I'm going to be able to get my Tapu Bulu with Sticky Webs up here. He doesn't have a whole lot of options, so he has to sack off Tyranitar. He couldn't risk me going for Wood Hammer there and blowing up his Excadrill, because then he'd just lose to Tapu Bulu, or going for like Superpower on the Excadrill switch in. He'd just lose to Tapu Bulu under Sticky Web. So he had to sack off his Tyranitar there. That's going to get a little bit more health back on my Tapu Bulu, potentially able to check the Araquanid later in the game. But out comes the Excadrill, thankfully, because I know that was Z Tyranitar. He's only got the 2 turns of Sand left. So what I'm going to do here is just sack off my Bulu in case he decided to SD in my face. I just clicked Horn Leech there, because if he decided to SD, I could have saved Tapu Bulu for later to take hits from the Araquanid and the Mega Medicham, especially with Sticky Webs up, but instead he just goes for the Iron Head, which was definitely the right play, but he's still only got this 1 turn of Sand left, and what I can do now is go out into my Conkeldurr and go for Mach Punch. Mach Punch will guaranteed put him in range of an attack from either my Staraptor or my Aerodactyl, and actually, let me pause it for a second there. If he allowed me to get chip damage off on his Excadrill there with the Mach Punch, he actually would have just straight lost Choice Scarf Brave Bird from my Staraptor, unless the recoil damage put me in range of Medicham's Bullet Punch, but I don't think it would have if the Excadrill had taken like 70%-ish off a Mach Punch there. So he definitely had to save the Excadrill there, but it was not worth me risking and over-predicting there, because I would have lost a whole lot if he just decided to stay in and to eat the Mach Punch with the Excadrill, so it wasn't worth me going for Drain Punch or Ice Punch or anything like that. Damage on Medicham's not really important anyways, because the other 2 mons I have in the back OHKO it from full with their Flying type moves, so I felt like Mach Punch was really the only play to make there with my Conkeldurr, as he does make the good play and get out his Medicham. I have to pick another one here, unfortunately, but Conkeldurr has basically done its job. It forced out the Excadrill, which is now going to have to come in on Sticky Webs outside of Sand anyways, so Conkeldurr's done his job. No reason to keep it around at this point. It dies to a hit from Excadrill anyways, so he just goes for the Drain Punch, knocks me out. Like I mentioned, health on Medicham does not matter at all, because what I really need is to KO it with either a Flying type move, a Brave Bird from my Staraptor, or an Wing Attack from my Aerodactyl. So here I elect to go out into Aerodactyl. I probably could have done this either way. The only problem was, if I went out into Staraptor, went for Brave Bird as the Excadrill came in, I don't think I was going to 2-hit KO that thing, and then he would have KO'd me back with an Iron Head. I think he would have KO'd me back with an Iron Head, or a Rock type move if he's carrying it. So I didn't think Staraptor was really the right play there, especially because if I get enough chip damage off on the Excadrill to get it in range of my Aerodactyl, or to get it in range of my Staraptor's Brave Bird, then Brave Bird has a chance to clean. So I felt like the better late game clean option was Staraptor if I happen to need to go for that. Either way, though, I think it's probably going to come down to a Stone Edge on the Araquanid, and whether or not he's running Charty Berry. I don't think he would be, because I could just as easily go for a Flying type move versus the Araquanid anyways. But it's basically going to come down to landing a Stone Edge on that thing, because Wing Attack should probably not KO him from full, as it would this Medicham. So gonna have to go into Aerodactyl here, click Wing Attack. If he switches into Araquanid, I 2-hit KO that thing with Wing Attack, don't have to risk the Stone Edge miss, and then I could just Fire Fang into Brave Bird clean with my Staraptor. If he leaves the Medicham in, at least that thing's dead. I still need to land a Stone Edge on the Araquanid. If he goes out into the Excadrill, all I need to do is land a Fire Fang on that thing. So I felt like Aerodactyl was a better play here than Staraptor to revenge kill this Medicham. Gonna get my Mega off and go right for the Wing Attack, knocking out this Medicham. You can see we're only 14 turns in here, and all of our Pokemon are pretty much dead. So Bullet Punch there, you see, does about 50% to my Mega Aerodactyl, but damage on me isn't really super crucial. The Excadrill should be able to knock me out with Iron Head anyway, since it is Life Orb, and obviously Liquidation is going to blow me away, so it's going to come down to whether or not I hit the Stone Edge on the Araquanid, because I can't do enough damage to the Araquanid with Wing Attack to knock it out, like I mentioned. I don't think I'm going to be able to even put it in range of close combat with a Wing Attack here, so... And if he's running leftovers, I almost certainly won't, so I have to go for Stone Edge here. Thankfully, Aerodactyl connects that Stone Edge, and that means we're going to win this game. Excadrill's going to come out here. Doesn't really matter what he goes for. I just can't let him sub up. Like, if he's bulky enough to live a close combat, he's also bulky enough that a sub of his would take an Aerial Ace from my Aerodactyl. So what I'm just going to do here is go for Fire Fang and risk the miss. Like, if he substituted and I went for Fire Fang, like the odds of missing Fire Fang twice were pretty low anyways, and I didn't think he'd have Substitute, so Fire Fang I felt like was a good play there anyways, and we're going to get the double down on the end here, with us picking up a 1-0 victory in just 16 turns. Like I mentioned, it was definitely going to be a very offensive game here, lots of sacking back and forth, and we happened to come out on top. I think I played this game about as well as I could have been expected to, and still only came out with a 1-0, so very, very good game to Blue. Great season for Blue on the other end, of course, but great season for us. First season in the MWPA, picking up a win in the Earth Division here. That should mean, I think, that we get promoted to Venus next season. I was really, really happy with how the team performed this season. I don't know if I'm going to do a team recap video. I historically have not done those, but I may be inclined to do so if I really feel like it. You guys will see basically if a video is up in a week on MWPA if I'm doing a team recap video. But I really enjoyed using the team. Kind of the bulky offense motif fits me pretty nicely. Bulu Tram was fun. I don't think I'd necessarily draft it again, especially in a non-free draft league, because Bulu plus Heatran is generally pretty expensive in the first place, and they do need a lot of team support. Like, having the double 4 times weaknesses, they're both kind of slow. Like, you want some speed control options, so I have like fast mons with my Aerodactyl, Ribombi, Sticky Webs. Like, Bulutran just needs kind of a lot of support in general, so I don't know that I would draft it again, but it was fun enough to use for sure. Really glad I got to use Conkeldurr this season, my favorite mon to use in competitive, so really glad I got to use Conkeldurr. Really enjoy using Mega Aerodactyl. I brought it every week. It's only the second Pokemon I brought every week of a season, the other being Greninja from VPL Season 3. But yeah, maybe I'll do a more in-depth team recap video at some point, break down the stats and stuff like that, and whether or not I would draft certain Pokemon again. In general, I'd probably draft a lot of them again, even though I wouldn't draft this exact team again. But yeah, I guess we'll see if I end up doing that in the long run. But again, thank you guys very much for watching throughout this season of the MWPA. We are your Season 6 Earth Champions. Hope you guys tune in for more videos here. I will be returning for MWPA Season 7 for sure. So I'm definitely very, very excited to do that, especially if I am in the Venus Division. Yeah, tune in for more, guys. VPL still going. MWPA, I think, comes back in May, so there'll be a little bit of a break for that. But I'm also starting off in OLT soon. I don't know I'm going to be uploading for that, so keep your eye out in case I do like to upload for OLT. If anybody watched Regulator's Draft Tier Leagues video, or Draft League tier list video, OLT actually made the video because it's a very, very strong league, very good players there. So I'm very excited to be a part of it this season. I'm in the second of 3 divisions over there, so definitely going to be some good competition over there. Looking forward to it. It's actually a points draft league, so keep an eye out for if I decide to upload that. But at the very least, you'll get the rest of VPL Season 4 before MWPA Season 7 starts up, and I will be uploading that as well to the channel. So thank you guys very much for watching again throughout this season. If you did, feel free to leave a like on the video or even the series as a whole, and just binge watch it all if you haven't watched any of my videos before. So, oh, one other thing I should mention before I leave, I will put Blue's link in the description. He does upload YouTube content. I don't believe he uploaded MWPA, but very good battler. Definitely somebody I would recommend checking out if you're looking for insight on how to play Mons, how to play Draft League. Definitely a great guy to go check out his channel, so I'll leave that in the description as well as the normal stuff. And yeah, I think that's it for announcements at the end of this video. So thank you guys very much, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye-bye.